We're going to turn to the former White House Chief of Staff to President Bill Clinton, Mack McLarty. Mack, you were not officially in the administration when Bill Clinton was impeached, but you remained very close to him. And I'm curious, what was the advice that you gave former President Bill Clinton around the time he was being impeached?
It was a difficult period, to state the obvious. John Podesta, who had worked with me early in the administration, was Chief of Staff at that time. And the advice as that situation evolved was, one, it was difficult to acknowledge that. To see a president, a friend go through any type of process is always difficult, and you have emotions. But to basically be forthcoming, be yourself, be authentic, and really convey to the American people how you feel. But try to keep that, show your emotions, be yourself, but keep the drama to a minimum. And I think President Clinton essentially not just followed my advice, but chose that course ultimately.
So obviously you are not in a position to advise President Trump, but if you could, what advice would you give him heading into this impeachment inquiry? Well,
this is unprecedented because you have a sitting first-term president with an election on the horizon that's going into an impeachment hearing. That's very different than President Nixon or President Clinton.
First time this has ever happened.
So this is again unprecedented, very different circumstances. But I think President Trump, of course, has taken to the hustings. He's was in Mississippi and it has another rally coming up. I think what he's trying to do is a version of at least what President Clinton was able to do pretty successfully with the benefit of history. And that is to say, I'm still engaged in fighting and working for the American people. President Clinton was able to kind of compartmentalize that, if you will, and he chose to have separate tracks. To date, President Trump has not chosen to have separate tracks, but I think it's important that the American people feel that their president is still engaged in working with them and has his eye on the ball on the myriad of issues, challenges, and problems.
The Clinton White House was, of course, famous for setting up this war room to insulate the president and his policies from the impeachment inquiry. Do you think we've reached a point where the Trump White House should implement a similar type of war room?
Well, that's what I was referring to. And Trey Gowdy, former Congressman Gowdy, who's very articulate, very persuasive, was really seemed to be slated to at least begin an effort, to lead an effort of that type. And it seemed that circumstances intervened with some of the legalities and so forth, and that's not going to happen. President Trump has said, I'm the chief spokesman, and that's one way to address this. Whether it's the best way, I'm not sure, particularly as we, Krista, move into formal impeachment proceedings, which we're clearly going to.
So I go back to that advice question. If you could advise the president right now, what would you say to him? I know you're a Democrat, but what advice would you give him?
Well, first of all, I think as an American, we're all concerned about our government, about our country, and about the people in our country, and how we can make our country better. So in that regard, no one welcomes this kind of controversy, further division within the country and an impeachment process. So again, I think my advice would be stick to the business of the people and do your job as president. I think that's the advice I would try to give him.
One more question for you. The country felt
in a respectful and direct manner, I might add. Go ahead.
The country obviously was very divided during the last impeachment inquiry.
Right.
Does this feel different? Does it feel more partisan or less partisan than when former President Bill Clinton?
I think it's more. I think each side is more dug in, if you will. It was certainly very partisan then. But you'll recall, and you see that in the polls, the 49-47, it varies very dramatically between Republicans and Democrats. And interestingly, independents are probably a little less for impeachment at the moment. We'll see how all that plays out. But I think it's more partisan, to answer your question. People are more dug in, and I think that'll be reflected likely in the hearings.
All right, Mack McLarty, thanks so much for coming in and sharing your perspective. We really appreciate it.
My pleasure. Nice to be with you.
Thanks.